What is going on, guys? We're here. We're on Australian short, but we are live. Welcome to the Gaming with Geeks podcast. Jeremy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm ready to talk about Terminator and movies and barking dogs.
We can't talk about Terminator this week. I don't have any backup.
I have no desire to ever talk about Terminator on this podcast, yet that's somehow what we end up doing. Speaking of Terminators and cyborgs, Mark, how are you?
I'm doing okay. You know, I got my puppy.
Those dogs were going fucking crazy before we started the show. I don't know what they were barking at.
I think they're did someone knock on the door, X-Ray Girl? Like, okay, I don't know if we got like an Amazon delivery or something, but that seems to be there's someone immediately outside the door barking.
Well,
yeah, so I fired a couple warning shots, but I don't think there was anyone there.
Oh, you pulled a boogie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boogie 2988. Got it. We got a couple super chats start off. Radicalized Ryan with a new profile picture. Wait for it, super sticker. Thank you, Radicalized Ryan. Roger H with a thumbs up. Thank you. Master Eden for $5. Were y'all ever Mega Man fans? And would you ever post a perfect run on YouTube?
No, because I wouldn't be able to do one.
Exactly.
If I had a perfect run, I'd post it.
Yeah. I will never be able to. Mega Man 3 was peak Mega Man days for me. Just because I'll never forget the release of Mega Man 3 and how excited I was for it. But yeah, Mega Man, those games were amazing. Very difficult games. Very difficult.
Yeah, they're tough. They're a challenge. I got one of those little like Nintendos, those like Nintendo mini ones they were selling. You know what I'm talking about with the
NES
HDMI.
Minis.
Yeah, the NES Minis that has like Mega Man on there. Yeah, it's fucking rough. Especially going back to it now if we're used to playing the games that we're currently playing.
I wish, and I know Mega Man is very popular. He's a very well-known character. I feel Mega Man is underrated from a perspective of like, I think he should be on the iconic list of characters. Like it's I don't know why he's not. I don't know why Mega Man.
I hate his character in Smash.
I think he is, but
I think he's up there, but I don't think he's up there with Mario and Sonic.
He's not.
And I think he should be. You know, like, and maybe it's because he never had like these next level 3D games that took him to the next level.
I would argue Sonic hasn't either, but
I would say I think it's because the games are too hard.
That's possible.
I think it's because the games are too hard.
And I think Mega Man was a lot bigger back in the like early 90s, because that was, I think, an era where if a game was super difficult, it like no one really thought anything of it. It was just like, oh, this is one of the ones that's hard to beat. It wasn't like, oh man, like this game needs to add easy modes, because there weren't really easy modes. Pretty much every game just had one difficulty setting. And I don't think Mega Man 2 or 3, Mega Man 1, I don't remember getting all that into. I don't even think I really played all that much of it, but 2 and 3 I played the hell out of a lot. And I don't think they were even close to being the most difficult games on NES. Like I would argue that the Castlevania games and Ninja Gaiden were significantly more difficult than Mega Man, but Mega Man I think had the really interesting design structure where you could kind of like pick which level you did in which order, and there was kind of a correct way, because you acquire an enemy boss weapon, and then that weapon would be one of the other boss's weaknesses. So
I think we're gonna make it. Geeks and Gamers is gonna make it our mission. We're gonna give Mega Man his due respect. We're gonna talk more about him. We're gonna celebrate his games more. Maybe I'll even stream Mega Man 3. At some point for our premium members or something like that. We're going to get Mega Man some respect. He deserves respect.
One thing that is good about Mega Man, though, is all the games are pretty much on everything now, or the vast majority of them at this point, because of the legacy collections that are on Steam, Switch, PS4. Like you can just play pretty much every Mega Man game everywhere, so they're not difficult games to find.
Hell yeah. Respect Mega Man. Good super chat. Bringing up Mega Man. I think he needs more love. Not that he's not loved, because he's definitely loved, but he's not on the iconic list like the Master Chiefs, the Sonics, and the Marios, and he should be.
Yeah, I agree. Chris Arcella for $5. Mark, you see the drawing I did of you? I sent it to X-Ray Girl to show you and Jeremy.
If anyone just saw me, Extra Girl passed me a phone there. She just showed it to me, and Christopher Arcella, why did you draw me to look horrifying? Like, I was looking at this like weird, like crazy face. I'm just like, oh man. I was like,
Yeah, she sent it to me.
It's like when you get triggered about frame rate. Is that like what it's supposed to represent?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever looked that evil.
Never know.
Thank you, though. I appreciate the effort.
AC Yor for $5. Can anyone give a logical reason why in Cyberpunk there are no flashlights or night vision in the year 2077?
I haven't played it enough to know.
No, I
Mark?
guess there's no good reason.
It's never dark. It's never dark ever.
I guess, yeah. Like I'm trying to think of if I was ever in a situation in that game where I felt I needed one, and I guess not, or else I probably would have noticed that.
Yeah, that's my guess. And speaking of Cyberpunk and speaking of video games, we got some Cyberpunk news this week. A massive patch drop, 1.2, that fixes hundreds of things. And then right after that, and some people did say they definitely noticed an improvement, especially on console. It's almost a level of playable now for PS4 players. However, it's still not on the PlayStation Store, which should tell you something. But another big thing that we found out about Cyberpunk is that this standalone multiplayer experience that they were planning, they're not planning it anymore. That is what CD Projekt Red told their investors. They're shifting gears. We'd heard for a few years now that there would be a essentially standalone Cyberpunk project, whether it would be an actual standalone game or whether it would be something to the effect of Cyberpunk 77 Online, kind of like GTA Online. They are rethinking that, and effectively plans have been canceled for it. They're trying to reintegrate multiplayer into everything, but what we thought we had is kind of not happening anymore. Mark, what did you hear about this? What are your thoughts?
I mean, what I heard about it is pretty much what you just said. I think it's probably a good idea. I think, if anything, CD Projekt needs to be focusing more on fixing what they've already got instead of trying to be like, oh, now we're going to add multiplayer into the mix. Like, I don't necessarily think that would have been a fantastic idea. I still think that even with patch 1.2 out, I would still recommend wait until I'm going to guess November, but really what I'm saying is wait till whenever the native PS5 and Xbox Series versions of the game launch. I think that's probably when the game is going to be in the place where it probably should have been when it launched in December. They did also buy a studio in Vancouver in Canada. Who seemed like they were mostly made up of like ex-BioWare people who left in 2012, which was right after Mass Effect 3, which I think is probably good news. There's two ways to look at that one too. There's people that are like, oh man, like what are they doing spending money on like a new studio? Like they should be spending that money fixing Cyberpunk. Or it's the other side of that is, well, or they could be saying like, hey, obviously we didn't have the resources we needed to get Cyberpunk where it needed to be, so we should have it so that we have people that are like, okay, we'll do the main design in Poland and then maybe send it to this studio in Vancouver to help with things like the polish and work out the bugs and stuff like that. But I know, I guess we'll see how it goes. But apparently they want to be working on both a Witcher project and a Cyberpunk project now. I'm hoping though that the Cyberpunk project is just fixing Cyberpunk. So.
I've lost all interest in Cyberpunk. I have no desire to go back to it. It's just the whole thing again. And I'm not going to pretend I was like the biggest fan of CDPR or anything like that. I mean, I respected them. I'd heard a lot of good things about them, and I figured Cyberpunk was going to be this, the hype for it, the trailers, the track record for CDPR, everything. I thought the game would probably be like a GTA level game in terms of how long, the longevity and the hype around it. And I just feel like they've completely just missed the window. I hope that they get it all fixed for the people that really are into it. I hope it becomes a complete game for people on consoles and things like that. For me personally, the window is kind of passed for me, but I'm not necessarily someone that was looking forward to the game outside of all of the hype that kind of pulled me into it. So I'm not sure if I'm the right person to really be the definitive, like, oh yeah, people are losing interest. I have, though. I've completely checked out of this game.
Yeah. And I do think it's a good thing that they said we're not going to make a standalone multiplayer aside from this right now. That's not going to where our focus is now, because like Mark said, they need to fix this fucking game. Even with this patch, it's still not back in the PlayStation Store, which is very telling.
I don't think that says anything. I think that's
you don't think that says.
I think that's Sony's decision, and I think even removing it to begin with was 100% Sony not wanting to have to address their refund policy after CD Projekt said just refund it if you don't want this game, because it's not like every. I'd probably because they pissed Sony off, and probably because there's a hell of a lot of legal loopholes that they'll have to jump through in order to get it, as far as negotiating it on there. Because, like, guys, don't get it twisted. There's tons of broken games on the PlayStation Store. Like, the one that people often cite is Life of Black Tiger, which was famously next to unplayable. Like, it was essentially like Wii shovelware meets a free mobile game with ads. That didn't have ads, but what I mean is that quality. And that's still available. Like, you can still buy that game. So it's not like a game has to be a certain level of quality in order to be released on the PlayStation Store and stay up there. They only took Cyberpunk down because CD Projekt forced their hand with the refund statement.
Right. And so now no more refunds. It's not a thing that's happening. It's not something that's happening for months. So when's it coming back to the Sony store?
I don't know. That's a question for Sony, though. I don't think it has anything at all to do with CD Projekt. I think the game could be perfect, and it still won't be on the Sony store until they want it back on.
If the game was perfect, and they can, if the game was perfect, or if it was well run, Sony wants money.
No, well then you're saying that it has something to do with quality, and like I said, there's tons of broken games on the PlayStation store. It's Sony's decision to not have it on there. It has nothing to do with CD Projekt. They probably wouldn't want it pulled off to begin with.
Well, no, I do. Well, I mean, it's fair that there's tons of broken games, but there's few broken games that were the level this one is. Once you get enough attention on something,
high profile like this,
you have to change your methods as to how you're going to handle that. And this was a PR disaster for all parties involved.
I'm saying that none of the three of us, including me, know what the process for getting a game that's been delisted on the PlayStation.
Well, no, but Ryan's point is that it's just not a good sign, is all he's saying, and I think that's a fair statement. It's not a good sign that the game is not on the PlayStation Store still.
What that sign represents is not a good sign, which indicates what is what.
All right, here it is. A game was so broken, so high profile broken, that they offered refunds for it everywhere. And with that refund policy, Sony decided, hey, we're not going to do that. So we're just going to delist this game because we are not going to sell something that we may have to refund because it's so fucking broken. Right?
Sure.
Right? Okay. So you move on from that. No longer offering refunds. You can't get them from CD Projekt Red. You can't get them from Best Buy, GameStop. Doesn't matter where you bought it. You can't get refunds anymore. That time has since passed. That was back in January. Now we're at a point where they have now did two major updates to the game to try to fix it. And they did fix some things. Like, for instance, cops don't just spawn in on you anymore. They spawn in from a block away and then run in. And they're really fucking dumb still. Okay, but you're trying to make these steps to fix the game and make it better. Why is it not back on the store? It has nothing to do with refunds. So you're saying that Sony,
I'm saying that it probably won't have anything to do with things like a patch or a fix. It'll be whenever Sony has decided they want to work with CD Projekt again on this game. And I don't think that the state of their patches will factor into it to a degree, but I don't think it's going to be the kind of thing that they'll just release a patch one day and then Sony would be like, boom, let's turn the floodgates back on. Like, they clearly, Sony and CD Projekt got into a bit of a battle over this. They're probably not on the best of terms. I'm willing to bet the reason why they still have any relationship with them at all is because they probably want to be able to keep selling Witcher 3 when Witcher Season 2 comes out.
I mean, I think Mark's got a fair point that clearly something happened between them, but again, it's hard for me to see Sony just having like this kind of hate
I'll
boner
clarify.
for them.
What I took issue with is saying that like patch 1.2 came out, but it's still not on the PlayStation Store. That must tell you something about how much this.
But I think it's a fair point. I don't think it's the definitive point, but I think it's a fair point to assume that like that's still not a great sign, seeing as that is not on the store. But at the same time, your point is fair too to go. Clearly, there was a major issue with CDPR and Sony because of the release that CDPR made and how Sony felt like they had to deal with it. So there's probably a deeper fracture there that we're not realizing, that we're not privy to. Is that fair?
Fracture wasn't bad enough for them to, stop selling the PlayStation games that are out there at Best Buy, at GameStop, all the physical Cyberpunks.
Well, and I mean that should tell you something too. It's like, okay, so how much did they actually want to disassociate with this game at all? Like, they didn't recall the copies that they could still be making money on. They just don't want to have to deal with refunds through their storefront. So,
which is no longer a thing that could happen.
So why don't they just relist it then?
Yeah, you know why?
That's what I mean. So there's the immediate through line, because either you're making the argument that this game isn't good enough to be sold on the PlayStation Store, which I would very much argue against, because there's plenty of shit games on the PlayStation Store. Like, it's not.
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, but I'm saying it's either you're making that point, or you're making the point that Sony should not ever be selling this game because they have some sort of, I don't know, legal obligation to not. And then in which case it's like, okay, well then why are they still allowing physical copies to be sold? And I think the answer to that is it's not their problem if someone wants a refund.
Yeah,
and that's why they didn't pull the physical copies in December.
And I think that the game is not in a state yet where they feel like if they put it back up on the store, they wouldn't have fucking problems with people complaining about it because of it's still broken. That's what I think.
Maybe I haven't played the PS4 version ever. Well, I mean, again, I don't think we know the answer to that question was my point. I'm not saying I know. I'm saying that I don't think it's as simple as this patch wasn't good enough.
Mark doesn't like speculation.
Well, no, I just that's true. I tend to not unless it's not, but I'm just saying that they if it really were just a matter of this game isn't performing at the standard that should clear the PlayStation 4 store quality bar, then that's fine. But then it's like, well, let's take a look at some of the other games that are on there, and if they're not all bangers, and it's not the only games they're selling are I don't know,
that's irrelevant though. Yeah, that's irrelevant.
I think they got burned by CDPR because they got the copies, and it was like, wow, this is really fucking bad. And CD Projekt Red says, don't worry, we're gonna fix everything. They said, okay, and they turn out and the launch is absolute dog shit. So they are not going to put that back up on their store because they got fucking burned until it is legitimately fucking good enough that they don't have to worry about that kind of thing. Is there probably bad blood? Yeah, there probably fucking is. But at the same time, if it was good, they'd put it up. Bottom line.
I think so.
Again, I don't think it's that simple, and I don't think the process would be fast either. I think that there's more. Well, I mean, Ryan, how much do you know about the Sony certification process? You're talking as if it's one.
They're still literally downloading patches it's still in the store. Let's be real, because they're still downloading patches for people who are playing physical copies of the game and still want it on their hardware. So it's still active in the store. It would literally just be the flip of a fucking switch to be able to put it back on the digital store.
Well, and what my argument is that the reason they're not flipping that switch is because of the business implications and tension that they have with CD Projekt, not because it hasn't met the PlayStation Store quality bar. You see what the difference is there? It's the legal/business turmoil versus the quality of the software and the quality of the patches. You're making the argument that it's the quality of the patches, and I'm not even speaking to the quality.
I'm saying it's both.
Maybe I think it's much more likely that it's they've got some things to sort out, possibly even in court, when it comes to their relationship and whether or not they should be listing that game. I think that's much more likely than just this patch didn't fix enough things. Otherwise, wouldn't there be stories about every hotfix that went up prior to patch 1.2 or even patch 1.1 to say, okay, is it going back up on the PlayStation Store? I think Sony's just this thing's going off for a while, and our lawyers need to speak to your lawyers before we're ever relisting this thing again.
I think I think we can all agree it's a shit show. This entire situation is a shit show, and this is why I have no interest in this game anymore. But again, I hope it works out for people that are interested, just not for me at this point. This is a disaster.
Master Eden for $10. Would you guys ever start a fan versus G&G challenge on YouTube segment? You guys are the fan chooses the game.
What?
No, because I don't want to get beat.
Yeah, no, we would probably lose to a fan that is if you play a game that is your multiplayer game that is the game you play. I guarantee you put more time into that game than I've put into any one game for the last 2 years. So you're gonna beat me. Like,
yeah, I will say that is something we would definitely do for our premium members at some point. I've actually discussed playing Titanfall 2, just opening up or hopping into the premium Discord with our premium members and then having them join and us play, even if it turned into a private lobby. So that's definitely something we could potentially do. I think we're gonna get wrecked probably. Especially if Ryan's on our team. I'd say we get wrecked 50% of the time for playing Call of Duty because Ryan is ridiculously good one match and then he's ridiculously terrible the next match. I don't understand it. It makes no sense.
I'm very bipolar when it comes to any first-person shooter.
It
Mostly
really
because
is.
I literally just run out in the middle of fucking I cannot just sit there. So I literally just sprinting the entire time, fucking come around the corner, fucking guns firing from the hip. That's literally all I do.
You need to play Quake.
Yeah,
that is like the deal with the Quake games. There's no aim down sights. It's all constantly need to be moving. Like taking cover is just not really even an option.
Christopher Arcel, the Titanfall 2 is GOAT. He said he had a blast watching that stream. Yeah, he had never seen Titanfall 2, so that stream I did, he was like, holy shit, this is amazing. I'm like, dude, you have no idea. Titanfall 2, it's painful how much that game didn't get the love that it deserved. But oh well, we are where we are.
Mike Hill for 5.
Mikey Gussler's making it rain.
Yeah, so. Mikey's got a lot of questions for us.
Yeah, he does.
Mikey. Mike Hill for $5. What's the problem releasing Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga game? Well, they actually realized that they named it the Skywalker Saga, and it's dog shit, and it has nothing to do with George Lucas's vision. So Lego pulled the plug.
There you go. Drunk 3PO actually wanted us to talk about this.
I don't know. Yeah, like they say COVID, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they're still. I think they're still writing Rise of Skywalker. I think that's the actual problem.
Did they do a Lego Last Jedi, or is it just they? I know they did Force Awakens.
Did they do a Last Jedi? I don't remember a Lego Last Jedi.
I don't know if they did an actual Last Jedi. I remember playing.
They did do the Force Awakens. They definitely did that one for Lego. I don't remember a Last Jedi one.
I almost started arguing with Jay because, like, when he said you guys should talk about the Lego Star Wars getting delayed, I was like, oh, what will the world do without Lego Rise of Skywalker? And he's like, it's Lego the Skywalker Saga. And I was like, yeah, but everything. I thought Rise of Skywalker was the only one they hadn't done yet. But then I was like, oh, but did they make a Last Jedi? Maybe they didn't. I know they made a Force Awakens because I remember it was weird that Lego Force Awakens was, like, the non-EA Star Wars game that managed to still come out after, like, the EA deal. And I was like, I was like, they can do Lego Star Wars. How come other people can't make Star Wars games?
Yeah, and that one's terrible. Ray's sucks.
Yeah, I've got Lego Batman playing behind me right now. So,
which one?
Which one is that? It's just the Lego Batman, the video game. So,
I think there's like Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. That one's my favorite.
I have not played many Lego games. I actually forgot that I played that Batman one. That one's a lot of fun. That Batman one's a lot of fun.
I think Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham's a really good one because you get like the whole Justice League, you get like a bunch of the Green Lantern Corps people.
Try that one.
Like,
I haven't tried that one.
Yeah, it's really good.
I think the last Lego game I played was like the original Lego Star Wars. I was like, that's all right, but I don't know. It's not really my kind of thing.
Mikey Gusler for 20. Yesterday it was announced that Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga has been delayed and will release later this year. They want to make it the best Lego game to date and will announce more info on the game soon. Thoughts? My thoughts would be if you want to make it the best Lego game ever, don't make it associated with Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, I heard that. Well, what is the best Lego game? Again, as someone that hasn't really played Lego games, what is the widely considered best Lego game? Is there
physical Lego?
You're a typical Mark. I didn't think you were a big fan of physical media.
I mean, like when it's blocks, that the whole point is to build with them with your hands. And yeah,
I will say like Lego Marvel's Avengers 2. Is that the game? Like it's pretty like it's a fucking like massive open world like New York City.
We're getting a lot of Lord of the Rings, Lego Lord of the Rings.
I was a big fan of the Lego Lord of the Rings one. I mean, the story, yeah, but all the Lego games are dumb.
Jeremy, make Mark play all the Lego games and do a video on it.
No, X-Ray Girl's like, yes.
X-Ray Girl's
you do
like,
it.
yes.
That would be a Mark the Cyborg retrospective on Lego Star Wars games.
Oh my god. I'd be
Would
like,
you
I
have
don't like. I tell you what, it's the whole thing. Every segment is on one game because those games are all the fucking same from what I've seen.
How dare you?
Yeah, I might have to check out the Lord of the Rings one.
I'm not interested in. I don't give a fuck about Disney Star Wars. So that's
Yeah,
my
I have zero. Look, I've just said it. I said it in my most recent video talking about Disney Star Wars. I am completely like done. I don't care. Since the Gina Carano stuff, that really was the tipping point for me. I mean, it was already obviously I've had a lot of problems, but it seriously, like even Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, I don't give a shit what they're working on. I really don't. Like they're all part of this horrible machine that's Disney Star Wars, and maybe there's good stuff in there, but it doesn't matter. It's all bogged down by this Kathleen Kennedy nonsense, and it's dead. It is dead. If you are looking for good decent Star Wars, it's well and alive. If you're looking for agenda driven nonsense, it's that simple. It's over.
Yeah, Filoni and Favreau want to save your skies. It's still Disney Star Wars. So
Yep.
sorry to break the news, regardless of whatever fucking dumbass rumor comes out next.
Yep.
Benny Canuck for Canadian $14. Will there be a Mario Super Strikers for the Switch? Next Level Games, the creator of the game, was just purchased by Nintendo not too long ago. Also, make Ryan do NHL content on Sports Wars.
They've been asking for NHL content. I would love if a Super Mario Strikers game comes out. That's something that people have asked for a long time. Time will tell. I mean, I didn't realize that purchase was made, but hopefully that leads us to another Super Mario Strikers. We need more of those games, but I just hope they don't mess it up, because again, and it's hard to say that with Nintendo because they typically don't mess up their games, but like Mario Party is a fucking disaster. Considering what it could be with the online play, no, it has not. You get the fuck out. Mario Party for the Switch it's just trash. And it's kind of disappointing because you have games like Among Us and these party style games where you can get a lot of people together. They could have done so much with Mario Party, and it's just not good. It's not good at all. Yeah. I hear a little bit of background sound. Yeah, and an echo.
Too. It's
probably Mark. It's Mark. Look at
how am I?
I don't know. It's us echoing through you. I hear it. Your cyborg.
Maybe I should leave the room and come back in because I don't have any speakers on or anything. It's only in my headphones.
Your headphones must just be too loud. I don't know. All right.
He rage quit again.
After Canucks super chat too. Mikey Gusser for $5. I'm thinking about buying Outriders since it looks interesting and wanting to start my PS5 game collection. Should I buy it? Well, I think that's probably a really good question for Mark. Mark, what do you think?
I was out of the room. I didn't hear it.
I know. Mikey asked about buying Outriders.
I enjoyed the demo. A couple of my friends picked it up, so I might get it. I'm not sure. I still haven't really decided. But I enjoyed playing as the trickster in the demo. I thought it was pretty fun. I'm not sure what kind of legs it's gonna have, like in its end game. I saw Upper Echelon was tweeting that it kind of really falls apart once you hit the end game for it, which is sort of. I mean, as much as like it sounds silly, like once you finish the game, that's when things fall apart. It's like, okay, what does it matter? But at the same time, like looter shooters tend to, the campaign is usually just the thing that you get through before you get into like the gear hunt and like all the end game content. So if that stuff does kind of get thrown off whack and get unbalanced, then it might not be great. But it might still be something that's fun to play for 12 hours, 20 hours, whatever it takes to get through the campaign.
Yeah, and I think we had that on the on the agenda today, talking about the launch of Outriders. Now, got 100,000 people playing it, and basically have since the game launched.
Yeah,
which was only a couple days ago. But I mean, this is Square Enix, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the same
people who made Avengers,
who just came out with Marvel's Avengers, which is a property that was literally just had the biggest movie of all time, coming off the biggest movie of all time, and that IP, 30,000 was the peak at that, and now it's fucking below 1,000 basically anytime you look. A couple months after. The idea that this is already launching 3 times higher than that is nuts, and it really does tell you that at the end of the day, regardless of what your IP is, like people want quality games. And if you deliver that, and I don't think there's anything necessarily special about Outriders, but it is fun. And
shooting mechanics are really solid, and I think that like contrary to the combat in Avengers, at least I found it very like boring and stiff. Like I didn't really think it was very much fun to play. But Outriders, moment to moment, is really fun.
Yeah,
after you get through the tutorial sucks.
Yeah, we were watching Rippa play it the other night. It looks pretty fun. I'm not sure if it's my type of game or not, but it looks pretty good. Something I'm interested to at least try.
You know, and they have, I've seen a couple people in the chat say, you know, they have had some problems. Yeah, they've had some server issues. I don't think they really expected this many people playing it, but they have had some server crashes at times, and they've been pretty transparent about what's going on when they do have problems, which is also nice.
You just gotta say though, those numbers, holding those numbers is pretty damn good.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's only been 3 days.
No, I know that, but I mean, with the short term, you know, reaction to how people are, you know, on the internet. I mean, the fact that they're still holding those numbers, you know, 24-hour peak, 3 hours ago, all-time peak. Those are pretty consistent across the board.
I think the thing that makes it most telling that this game's probably going to be pretty successful, though, is that the demo, at least the Steam demo, I know has been out for 3 weeks now or so, maybe almost a month, and it your progress in the demo carries over to the main game. So there's people that have been grinding this game for a month, like just doing the side quests, getting level ups and gear and things like that. So it probably a lot of the people playing here are people who've been playing this game for a month. So I don't know. It was an interesting way to like launch their
makes sense then. That makes sense.
Yeah. And Hijabi Gamer brings up a great point, and it is free on Game Pass. Yeah. A day one Game Pass, a new game, brand new fucking game. If you have Game Pass, you get it day one.
I believe it's only Game Pass on console, though. I don't think it's Game Pass PC, because I was looking for it yesterday. I was actually like, maybe I should just download Outriders on Game Pass, though I prefer to play on Steam just because I have better access to my friends list through Steam, and I don't really like the Microsoft Store's interface at all. But I don't see it anywhere on here, so I think that it might just be on console. Or Game Pass on console.
Yeah. And speaking of Game Pass as well, there is a Sony Studios game that is coming to Xbox Game Pass on day one.
Wild.
MLB The Show, which has traditionally been PlayStation only for years and years and years, is not only coming to Xbox, but it's on fucking Game Pass day one. Like that is really like, so now you have 2 brand new releases, fairly big releases, one in The Show and one in Outriders, on Xbox Game Pass day one release. That is what their formula is going forward. And it's very different from what PlayStation's doing. They're very behind the curve when it comes to that. But I don't know. And of course, I know, Jeremy, you're going to say they need to market it better. But what are your thoughts about that?
With the MLB The Show?
Both of them just coming to Xbox.
Well, yeah, I would say the recent decision probably isn't going to help that game any. Fuck these motherfuckers. But that's kind of another discussion for another time. I had to acknowledge it though. But yeah, I mean, MLB The Show is, I haven't played much. I did purchase one of the more recent ones because me and you were talking about streaming it on Sports Wars at some point. Ryan, remember that a while back? So we need to stream some games on Sports Wars. Remember that?
I don't. I remember you saying that. I said no. I don't think we should. But
yeah.
They're like MLB The Show.
Yeah, and so I mean, I do know that MLB The Show is widely considered like a top tier baseball game. Is that correct, Ryan?
Yeah, it is definitively the best baseball game. Not even close.
And then you bring the Game Pass element into it, and it's something that, again, Mark has been preaching about for forever. You know, the importance of Game Pass and how good it is. And I do think having it that accessible on on another platform, and it's essentially free to play. I know it's not free to play, but it's on Game Pass. I think
included with Game Pass.
Yeah, it's included with Game Pass, and people that already have it now are going to have access to a top tier baseball game. I think that's a huge positive. And again, console exclusives, when you're dealing with these games like that are exclusive to PlayStation or Xbox, I think it harms games. I mean, Titanfall wasn't a console exclusive to the Xbox One, and then it was also on PC. But I think that hurt Titanfall, the first one, big time to be a console exclusive. And then obviously bring it into the PlayStation. They bring it over to PlayStation for the second one, but at that point the release date was all messed up. But open it up to a new audience. And do they have exclusive rights on that game
For
to
what?
the MLB licensing?
Well, I mean, no, they don't, because there's like RBI baseball. There's other baseball games out there that are just fucking bad.
Okay.
Like MLB The Show is just the best baseball game out there, but it is not exclusive.
Yeah, but just opening up to another audience I think it's going to be big for that game. Maybe, but I also think that it's going to hurt MLB in a lot of ways by what the other stuff going on that we've covered on Sports Wars. So,
yeah, 100%.
Echoing again, yeah, I'm hearing it too.
It's all right. It's all right. I mean,
it's all right though. Just mute when you're not talking, Mark. Yeah.
I like how Mark muted when he talked.
No, I was trying to see if you guys were still hearing any echo. That's why I like snapped it.
Okay.
Well, we don't hear. We hear echo when we're talking. We hear the echo when you're talking. We don't hear anything.
The only thing I thought is because I know X-Ray Girl's backstage, right? So I was wondering if you were maybe hearing it through her mic, and like she's muted too. It looks like, so it's not. But
yeah, she's muted.
She looks so confused now. She's like,
because I just popped her in. Yeah. Yeah, but it's not too bad for me at least. All right, Tony V, $5. Mark's God of War video was awesome, especially for someone like me who's only played the most recent game.
No, seriously, you guys need to, after this stream, go watch Mark's God of War video in its entirety. Share it out. It is awesome. He does such good work. I remember when people said like quality editing, good content, must be a Mark the Cyborg video.
Yeah, that one took me a while too. That was probably a solid month and a half, I guess, of work. Like by the time, because I played through every single God of War game with the exception of Betrayal, the mobile one that I actually tried to get an emulator working for it. I couldn't though. It doesn't look particularly good, but that's the only one that I kind of gloss over in the thing. But I played every single one of them, wrote it like 11,000 word script, and the day I recorded that was 3.5 hours of talking to this mic straight, and I wanted to die at the end of it.
There you go. Oh, it jumped on me. What the fuck? God damn it. Where? We got a lot of super chats. Look out. Blue-Eyed Scorpio for $2. Jeremy, play Apex with me since Ryan and Mark won't. I didn't say I won't. I actually spent a lot of time watching fucking Blue-Eyed Scorpio play the other day. It was fun. I should get into it. I had no idea what was going on.
I like Apex.
I know. I think that I might like it if I invested time into it, but I could either play that or Titanfall 2, and I would much rather play Titanfall 2.
Yeah. Mikey Gussa for 20. Have you seen the most recent GTA 6 leak? It says you can travel to 5 different cities plus brand new area not seen before in GTA. Also, we're supposed to get an announcement soon, and Rockstar has the artwork ready. Thoughts? That has been a rumor for a long time, actually, about the multiple different locations, including one we've never seen. It's rumored that it's supposed to be kind of like a Cuba or like a South America type of location that is based on fucking drug dealing, or like Colombia, something like that. That's going to be based off like the Murata. I forget the family's name. The fucking big drug dealer in San Andreas. But anyway, that's what I think is going to happen, and that's what it seems like all the rumors point towards.
Eric said we answered half his super chat after I sent it. Eric Beck.
Oh, I probably haven't read it yet. We're probably getting like it's probably after he sent it. We've just been talking.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, with GTA, look, they have, and I think it's a fair thing, and I think it's a good thing. They're in no rush. Why would they be? I mean, the previous, how long ago? When did the last game come out? 8 years ago.
2013.
Yeah. And it's still like pulling insane numbers on Twitch. They're in no rush, and they shouldn't be. They have built a quality product, and they have earned the right. And again, I'm not really a GTA guy myself, but my God, man, these games are so incredibly successful 8 years later. That is an amazing accomplishment. So take as much time as they need, obviously, and they will definitely be rewarded for it whenever this game comes out.
Grand Theft Auto 5 was just announced as the first PlayStation 6 launch game, too.
when we were watching that PlayStation 5, like I forget what it was, but whatever,
first thing that they
the first thing they announced. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Welcome to the next generation of gaming, GTA 5. It's like, okay,
yeah,
it's an interesting first put to put forward.
And the announcements. Every time there's a rumor, almost we fucking make a video about it. They're like, "Oh, they just got this website. They just did this," but they continue to push it off. I'm sure we'll hear something relatively soon. Mikey Gusta for another 10. Speaking of GTA, there's also rumors that GTA 5 for Xbox Series X and PS5 will have exclusive single-player content like weapons, clothes, new areas, cars, expansions, etc. Thoughts on this rumor?
I think it's stupid whenever any company does that.
I would be a little surprised if it was too much stuff.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was like free. It was going to be free on PlayStation 5. Remember? Yeah, it's going to be free to play. And then, yeah, it's going to be included. It's going to be free to play. GTA 5 is going to be free to play.
Is it the online way, or is it one of the... Is it in the PlayStation Plus games, the PlayStation Collection, I think it's called? Where you get a whole bunch of PS4 games if you buy a PS5. But I don't know if it's on that one. It's been a while since I researched that list, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to be very difficult for people to play GTA 5 if that's what they want to do. But as far as like platform exclusive content goes, I mean, I think everyone knows my thoughts on that. I think especially when it's specific things in a game, Destiny was kind of the worst with this, where it would be some exotic weapons, which exotic weapons in Destiny are like actually really worthwhile weapons that are very different from all the other guns in the game, and strikes, which are essentially co-op missions, like longer form missions than the story missions, and they tend to have a boss fight. There were strikes and exotic weapons that were just exclusive to PlayStation for a year for sort of no reason, and I don't know, it just always seems to me less like, hey, good news, you get a bonus if you're over here, and more like, haha, losers who bought it over there, you don't get the whole game. Like it always feels more like that to me.
So it's all right. Grand Theft Auto 5 will release the second half of 2021 on the PS5. Additionally, a new standalone GTA Online will be available for free on the PS5 exclusively, but only for the first 3 months. Okay, yeah.
It's kind of stupid that GTA Online isn't free to play to begin with, because they make all their money on like their shark cards and stuff. So.
God, they've sold over 130 million copies.
It's insane. It's insane. Hey, and we have covered GTA. I think it was GTA 4. Was this 5 or 4? I can't remember. We got Krista. Remember this one?
Accidentally downloaded 4. Yeah. God.
Right? Come inside. I got cookies.
Ugh.
Come inside, Mama. I'm never saying that again. Ugh. Jesus is watching me. Okay, so she wasn't a hooker, I think. Is that a hooker? I don't know. Come inside. Mamacita. I'm going to hell. Where are the hookers? Is that one? I don't know. This is so... Oh, there's one. That's a hooker for sure. 100%. Wait, what is she wearing? Come inside. What's happening? I just want to go see a hooker, and she's not coming in. Oh, there's one. Come. I'm just scaring them. Come inside.
Why would they be afraid of me pulling my car onto the sidewalk?
Why are they so mad at me? All I want is a hooker. Hi. What happens if I like punch her? I don't want to do that. Which one is dressed the most weirdest? Okay, I'll go after you. Oh, I'm so sorry. Ah! Oh, let's take one shot. Oh. Hi. Oh, I feel so bad. Oh, there's a hooker.
So good. So good. Love it right there.
You got caught by one random cop. The fuck? God.
That is a public upload if you want to go watch that. I'll drop it in the chat, but that was from a premium stream a long time ago over on geeksgamers.com. Here's a link to that video. So damn good. I clickbaited the hell out of that.
Jason Solo for Aussie, $5. Cyberpunk was marketed as a AAA game. It won't be allowed back in the store until it meets the standard of what AAA means. I don't know about that.
I don't think that's the reason, but sure.
Mikey Gusser for $10. The Dying Light 2 lead director just came out and said if you want to rush through the story, it will take you about 20 hours. And if you want to complete everything, it'll take 40 to 60 hours.
For Dying Light 1 or 2?
2.
I guess, I mean, we'll see when it comes out. But or is it just someone said that?
The lead director.
Oh, okay.
So the lead director came out and said 20 hours if you just rush through the story, 40 to 60 hours. Well, there you go. Are you interested in Dying Light 2, Mark?
Yeah, the first one was really good. I actually kind of wanted to make a video on it. I just never found the time to squeeze it in.
There you go. Matt G for $1 with a little smiley face. Thank you, Matt G. Chris Forsyth for 20. Hey, G&G, please consider checking out Cucumber, the animated series, on Kickstarter. Thank you.
Nice.
Cucumber, the animated series on Kickstarter.
That could go a lot of different ways.
That's all I could think of.
That could go a lot of different ways.
But thank you, Chris Forsyth. Everybody check that out. Mikey Gusser for $5. Dying Light 2 lead director also just said the game won't be available on, or won't be only available on next gen consoles. So I think you mean that it'll also be available on like PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I think it's going to be a little while before we hear just next gen. There's going to be a process for this.
Mm-hmm.
Glinzer for $5. Looking forward to Resident Evil Village, Scarlet Nexus, and Biomutant in 2021, but expecting delays. What future games are you the most hyped for? I'm looking forward to Horizon Zero Dawn 2. And I'm looking forward to that's probably the game I'm most looking forward to if I had to pick one. What about you, Jeremy?
Metroid Prime 4 in the year 2030 when it comes out.
It was a fantastic title screen that they announced.
Yeah, and I mean right now,
Looks awesome.
I don't think Titanfall 3 is in development at all. Maybe the idea is being floated around, but we haven't heard anything, which breaks my heart. That would be my most anticipated game, period, no matter what, outside of maybe a new Mario Kart game. There's not a lot that I'm looking forward to necessarily that's been officially announced. So that'll be the few.
Yeah, I think like for me, the ones I'm probably most interested in are the two big like Sony exclusives that we really know about is Horizon Zero Dawn 2 Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok. Those are probably the ones I'm most interested in, I guess, in the next year or two.
I am is it Kenna Bridge of Spirits? I saw someone comment that. I am looking forward to that. That looks good. Did that get delayed or did we get any more information on that since the reveal?
They just showed it at that last PlayStation State of Play, but I don't know if it has a release date yet. Actually, I think it did. I just don't know what it is.
What about you, Mark?
I don't know. I mean, for like as much as I'd like to say God of War Ragnarok, there's no information at all on that game really. Like it's just kind of like Jeremy saying Metroid Prime 4. Like that's a title screen is what we've got, and not even really. But technically, we don't know that it's called God of War Ragnarok. Right. It just said Ragnarok is coming, and I just noticed that when I was making that video because I was like, I guess it doesn't really technically say the game is called Ragnarok. It just says Ragnarok is coming 2021, which sure as hell ain't happening.
I think the reason that myself and a lot of people are just because what we've had before in that series, as you know. So
yeah.
But games that like I actually know are happening and like are going to be interesting. I'd say most recently would be Returnal that's coming out at the end of the month for PS5. It's Housemarque's new game. And that's actually a really
Elden
cool
Ring.
too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Elden Ring and like that's one of those ones that's like I can kind of say I saw some stuff from Elden Ring, but it was that really low res like pirated trailer thing. Like they still haven't really announced anything on Elden Ring that's solid and official. But if that leak is anything to go by, it looks like it's going to be another Dark Souls game, and I really like Dark Souls, and Miyazaki's making it, so it's not going to be like Dark Souls 2. But yeah, that's pretty much it though. There's not a whole lot of games coming out that I'm like really pumped to play. Like maybe Back 4 Blood, that Left 4 Dead kind of spiritual successor, or I guess it's thinking of that the Vermintide kind of spin-off that's 40K. Crap, I forget what it's called. Is it Fat
Halo
Shark's
Infinite.
making their
Halo Infinite's one I forgot about. Gundam Wing Zero.
Yeah, because Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite was with the stupid. I mean, I guess it technically didn't get delayed, but that was the worst April Fool's joke ever. Like they basically did like the CD Projekt style like rectangle screen, like dear fellow Halo fans, we regret to inform you that we've got to delay Halo to summer 2022, and that's like, a
legit possibility.
I know. It was just like, what are you guys doing? Because the best case scenario is the game comes out and it's perfect. The worst, every other scenario is people are just going to be being like, guess you should have delayed it to 2022 like your April Fool's joke said you were going to. Yeah. Oh, I guess April Fool's shouldn't have been a joke after all. It's like, why would you put yourself in that position? Or if you're going to say we've delayed it to 2031 or something like crazy where it's like, yeah, the game's going to come out in 10 years. Because then people will be like, oh, okay, this is April Fool's nonsense. They just wanted to scare you for a second. But I guess the only good that came out of it is they got Kotaku to write an article on it. But at the same time, like I kind of, as much as I hate to say this, I feel for Kotaku in this sense because like
I don't.
But you see that tweet come out, and why would you be thinking that would be a joke? Like, where's the punchline? Like that's what I mean. It's not. There wasn't really anything funny about it. It's just like this game that's already been delayed a year past when it was supposed to come out needs another 6 months. Gotcha. It's like what? Okay. I don't know. I thought that was stupid.
Elder Scrolls 6. Someone said in chat. Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6.
Sure.
Mr. Olympian sent a $50 super chat. I will get all the Streamlabs. I know we got some Streamlabs and some super chats, but we're going to hit this $50 one first from Mr. Olympian. Hi, Ryan. Question. Have you read the novelizations of the prequel trilogy? I started reading them recently and have been loving the additional scenes in them. I'm about a quarter in episode 2. What are your opinions of the additional scenes? Yeah, the novelizations of the prequels are incredible, especially wait till you get to Revenge of the Sith. Like Matthew Stover sat down with George and like talked through a lot with him, and a lot of what was originally going to be in the movie. Like if we were to see basically everything that had been filmed, if we released the Lucas cut of Revenge of the Sith, a lot of that is directly in line with what we saw in the Revenge of the Sith novelization. It provides so much context to what's going through Anakin's head, what's going through Palpatine's head. Like I think it makes Anakin's turn more meaningful and make more sense. Not that it didn't make sense, but it provides a lot of stuff.
I've heard the novelization for Revenge of the Sith is amazing. I've never.
It's like God tier.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people have said. And so thank you for that super chat. You got another one too. Holy crap!
Another 50. Another 50 from Horror Amarata for $50. I don't know how you feel about VTubers, but I'm a late night gaming Twitch streamer. Been following for a while. Found you through Young Rippa. Want to say thanks for being you and are demonstrating people of differences can game together. Thank you, Horror Amarata.
Man. Hey, that's what Geeks and Gamers is all about. And like there is this thing that people. I've preached for years now that Geeks and Gamers is about individuality. There is no one person's opinion at Geeks and Gamers that represents Geeks and Gamers. Obviously, my voice is the loudest voice because I'm, the creator of it, but and I'm the face of the main channel. But everybody at Geeks and Gamers has their own opinions and their own way of handling things. We're gonna make mistakes along the way. And you're going to find people that you don't like here. And some people don't like me, but they like other people here, which is totally fine. That's how it is designed to be. And, we are all in this together. Some people on the team say things that I just absolutely cringe over. And other people probably cringe at my opinions. And we all put that, aside to kind of represent this entire community for all of you, and we're only here because of all of you guys, so thank you all for everything.
We have
Look at that.
we have a guest.
We have a guest.
Yeah, I figured this. I can do this on the anime stream that I recorded with Ivan yesterday. That I have a puppy cam.
That's awesome. So yeah, thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that.
This is the radicalized Geeks and Gamers, literally fucking dog cams. But thank you guys both for those huge super chats and for all the support. We really appreciate it.
And again, I've seen some people say, number one, someone earlier asked about would we collab with who was it now? I can't remember. Someone had Upper Echelon. Yeah, they said, well, we've had Upper Echelon here on the channel. Upper Echelon is welcome anytime. We love Upper Echelon Gaming.
Yeah, I watch basically every video he puts out. Yeah,
great channel. And then other people saying, what can you do to support? Well, besides just being here, which we appreciate, geeksandgamers.com. That's where... And trust me, myself and my developers are working on a lot on the website today. So we're going to work on a new email process for anyone that becomes a premium member. We're going to send an updated email to give you like links and everything like that. And for premium members, if you're watching, we're about to implement a text message. You can opt in if you want to have text message notifications for our premium content. So you can, if you want to use your phone number, you can opt in and we can send you a text message notification that'll help with those notifications for all of our premium content. So we're working on that. All of that should be rolled out sometime towards the beginning of next week.
Yep. So we got a couple big Streamlabs donations as well, guys. So let's go through these. And then we'll go back to super chats. Butter Biscuit 92 for $2. Can't believe I got a shout out in a video. Oh, of course, Butter Biscuit. Yeah, so Butter Biscuit and Bweezy Bird. I saw Bweezy Bird in the chat earlier. Those guys both send me a lot of stuff, like a lot of random, hey, do this sports topic, do this sports topic. Sometimes I put a couple things together and bitch about something. So yeah, shout out to both you guys.
See, we got an idiot in the comments. Spencer Cole says, Geeks and Gamers being all about individuality until you dare speak out against Daddy Snyder and his terrible film. I fucking don't want the Snyder Cut to move forward. I don't want the Snyderverse. I fucking hate the Snyderverse. What the fuck are you talking about? But I can separate my opinions to recognize that enough fans like that fucking Snyderverse. So I think it should move forward. How does Geeks and Gamers not represent individuality when the motherfucker who created it says, I don't want the goddamn Snyderverse to move forward personally? I just respect that there's enough fans to do it moving forward. So go for it. But yet, where does that come from? Like, do people pay attention to any fucking thing? My God. Because someone at Geeks and Gamers likes a Zack Snyder movie that you think is a bad movie, which I would generally agree. Like I said, I think Mahler's Rage video is on fucking point. I happen to like Zack Snyder's Justice League, all things considered, but I don't disagree with what Mahler said. I think it's a shitty universe, shitty films, shitty characters. But there's enough fan movement, and the fans have spoken, and the fans deserve to have the Snyderverse restored. But even though I don't fucking care about it, that's individuality. So kindly fuck off.
There you go. Not kindly. Don't be a bitch.
That's the sarcastic way of saying it, dumbass.
The trigger word.
Yeah, kindly.
Would you kindly?
Would you kindly fuck off, sir?
Drunk 3PO likes Fortnite, which that's worse than anything else. So
there you go. Diego Flores for $10. Also, I think the Cyberpunk multiplayer standalone might have been affected by the hack, so to not risk it, scrap it all. Now integrate it into the base game as buff security with improvements to the game. I don't think the hack had anything to do with it. I really think that, like, with all the backlash and all the attention they're going to have to pay towards it, I think they may have realized it's probably not going to be a good time to dedicate all this shit to making a standalone multiplayer experience with the microtransactions and everything. I do think they did say that they fully intend to integrate online play into all of their franchises moving forward. So I think we will see an online portion of Cyberpunk. I don't know if it'll eventually be integrated in this game, and also The Witcher. So just be ready for that, and be ready for there to be microtransactions. So Diego Flores for $10. Jeremy, like how Tom and his Frank bit caused an uptick in sales for Congo Blu-ray. We as G&G should try to do the same for Titanfall 2.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think all we can do is our part, and I probably should stream Titanfall 2 to our Twitch channel, and possibly even here to the main channel once. I'm sure a few hundred people would watch it, but we could probably open up a few eyes that never have seen Titanfall 2. Again, for our premium stream, we had about 30 people watching that, and of those 30 people, I'd say a lot of them had never seen Titanfall 2, and they were like, "Holy shit, this game is fucking awesome." Because it is. I mean, it is an incredible game. I will never stop praising the greatness of Titanfall 2. And I'm good at the game. So, yeah, he had a review. He has a review for it.
It's on the Gaming with Geeks channel, but I mean, it's there if you guys want to see my video. It's one of the, I think, 3 games that I ever gave the title "Game of Unbridled Awesomeness" to. It's like that, Doom and Doom Eternal and Doom 2016. Oh, and Vanquish. Those are like the 4 games that I'm like, these games are so good that you really should play them even if you don't like this type of game, because I think they'll sell you on them.
Yeah, it is a phenomenal game. The campaign, the multiplayer, it's intense as hell. Yeah, we were winning. Ben hadn't played it in a while, but Ben was doing pretty good. We won our first 3 matches, and then the rest of the Geeks Gamers team joined in, and we started getting fucking owned because, I told you guys that would happen because these fucking people that play Titanfall 2 never stop playing Titanfall 2. There's about 12 people that just play it nonstop.
It did get released on Steam relatively recently, so there are more new players on Steam, Jeremy. I will play it with you as well.
Oh no! I have no problem playing with the hardcore Titanfall 2 people, because I am up there with those guys. I can hang with them. But I still wouldn't mind playing on Steam with you as well. Titanfall 2 is so great. Look at Hijabi Gamer. Hijabi Gamer, you guys want to see her maybe start joining us here on this podcast more often? I'd love to do that. She's great. We love the Hijabi Gamer.
There you go. Ike and Alice for $5. Hail, Jeremy, Ryan, and Mark. Good job on the God of War video, Mark. Though I'm curious if you saw the post-credits data boy scene with Thor, since you didn't mention it.
No, I guess not.
What? You didn't see that part?
No, because I did watch after the credits, and it... Wait, hold on, no, because the credits in God of War, you go right back into the game. The credits kind of happen during the game, as you're leaving Jotunheim.
Oh, Mark.
Where's there an actual credit scene in
I didn't know about this one. Hold on. God of War Thor scene. Here, we'll watch it live.
Mark fucked up.
Well, I mean, you spread the ashes, the credits start kind of appearing on screen as you're walking back towards the Bifrost, and then it just says, all right, you can go explore and hunt down the Valkyries. Thank you for playing God of War.
All right, hold on. All right, let's see.
We're finally home.
Does that share audio?
Feels
Yeah.
like a lifetime ago.
Bit drafty, maybe. It's a right improvement over having tree bark in your Tadger.
Motherfucker.
Time to rest.
I'm gonna sleep through winter.
Fucking Loki.
Okay, this'll do.
Sleep.
Mark's gonna be so mad when he realizes he made an hour-long video on God of War and missed this part.
I mean, I'm sorry, once I got to the end of the game, I didn't think, okay, I should go to the house.
Years later.
The ball.
A bit weird that they say years later and he's wearing the same armor he just went to sleep in.
Who are you?
Kind of cool. I don't necessarily like that Thor shows up in essentially the same manner that Baldur shows up.
Yeah.
Is it just that they're going to keep going home at the end of every game, and then a new Norse god's going to be like, hey, we're fighting now?
Yes.
All right. I mean, sure, I don't know. Who knows whether or not they'll retcon that out for Ragnarok, because I don't know why they put themselves in a position that they'd feel they need to start the game right in that same spot, too. I don't know. I guess we'll see, though, whenever Ragnarok does come out.
Hold on, I
God
think
of War 2.
I think there's still some after the end too, because hold on, listen to this motherfucker.
Atreus, are you ready?
Yeah, but I had the weirdest dream. Fimbulwinter was ending, and Thor came for us.
Oh, okay, so it was a
Here's the house.
dream.
It was only a dream.
But it felt different. It felt real. It felt like the future.
Then we will worry about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today, there are still things we can do. Come.
I do miss the old. You brought up the point in your video about how they changed voice actors.
T.C. Carson to. I think though that Christopher Judge does such a good job though that it's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard to be upset about it. Like,
yeah. God of War 3 is still, to me, is the best one. What do you think's the best game, Mark?
It's kind of hard to compare the new one to the other ones because they feel so different. But I'd say pound for pound, 3's probably the best one, with Data Boy being like the close second. And then I don't know, I think maybe 2, but 2 I don't think was quite as refined as
3 is one of the like 3
on.
is in my top 5 of all time.
3,
I mean, that is just phenomenal.
3 is the best one in no small part to the fact that it's the shortest one, and there's as a result. Oh well, it's not necessarily that it's all action. It's just there's very little padding. Like I think they finally learned that you maybe don't have to throw in 5 enemy waves in each arena to make this game 20 hours when it could be 10, and they just made a 10-hour game that felt really well paced from beginning to end. It does feel significantly shorter than the rest of them, because that God of War 3 I think I finished in 2 sittings, maybe 3. Like I was pretty much done it in 2 days, whereas the rest of them usually took me between 3 and 4. But yeah, I think that the pacing was the big thing that made God of War 3 as good as it was, and I know a small part of the fact that it runs really well in the PS4 remaster. Granted, I was also playing the PS4 remaster on a PS5. Ascension's the one that, as I was kind of mentioning in the video, it feels the most dated because it's the only one that released on the hardware that it's on, and there's no way to play it on newer hardware. Although I should address that, yes, I understand that you can play the games on PlayStation Now through streaming, but that when I said that there's no real way to play like the God of War games, I wouldn't be like, hey, good news, you can play these games on Stadia, and that's basically what PlayStation Now is. So, like, running a frame-specific action game that requires precision, I don't think is something you would want to do through streaming. But not that you can't, it's just that it wouldn't be the best way to play it.
TK Not at Post for $20, just dropping some cash on one of my favorite stream channels. Thank you, TK Not at Post, who just got an RK Outpost mug recently. So shout out, buddy. Appreciate that. Appreciate your support. And I need to get through these super chats. Mikey Gussler for 10. They need to remake Lego Lord of the Rings so they can polish the gameplay, graphics, more characters, and include all 3 Hobbit stories, since Battle of the 5 Armies wasn't released on Lego Hobbit. Yeah, that could be something I think a lot of people would be interested in, actually. So I'd support that. Eric Becky for 15. Hey, Jeremy, just re-up my premium sub. Thank you so much for helping me last year with that. Also, has anyone been following Outriders? The developer's been incredibly transparent, really good people. That was the second part of his super chat that we answered already.
Okay, yeah. And yes, and thank you so much, Eric, for the support on the website. It means so much to all of us here, and you guys are all amazing. We're trying to do the best we can to provide content for not only the premium members, but also just our subscribers here on all of our channels. We have a lot of moving parts at Geeks and Gamers, and there's probably certain elements we're going to be dialing back. Nothing that's going to have a major impact or anything like that, but I'm talking about things like the multiple Twitter accounts and like the Gaming with Geeks and the Sports Wars and all that. Like those things are just, we don't need all of those things. But Discord, if you have not joined our Discord, which is in the description, please do that. I have been more active in our Discord recently, and so definitely check us out over on Discord. We do appreciate it. But yeah, you guys are awesome, man. Only here because of you. Guys.
Quantum DeLorean for $20. I feel the same way Ryan does in regards to FPS shooters. I'm a beast one game and terrible in another. In the next Doom game, what new weapons do y'all want id Software to create? We'll let Mark answer that one.
I think it's probably going to be a long time before there is another Doom game, and I don't know that. I don't know that there's necessarily anything that would jump out at me as a thing that needs to happen. Like the weapon.
Give me a gravity gun.
Maybe that was.
Since I'll never get one in Half-Life 3. Give me
The
a gravity
fucking
gun.
sword from Halo.
Energy sword.
Yeah.
There is an energy sword in Doom Eternal, or the Crucible. But I don't know. Like, I mean, after playing, especially going through the DLC for Doom Eternal, the weapon set is pretty tight. Like, I almost think adding anything to it at this point would throw things off the way it sort of does when the Sentinel Hammer gets added in for Ancient Gods Part 2. And it sort of makes the game easier in a way that throws off the balance a little bit, because it basically is a stun weapon that you can slam the ground with, and it knocks out every enemy in the area. But if you set them on fire, it gives you essentially all your armor back, or ammo back if it actually kills one of them. So I don't know. I'm not sure that Doom needs more weapons. I just kind of want more Doom.
There you go. Reed Palancha for Aussie, $10. My parents said sitting at home playing video games all day won't bring you anywhere in life. PewDiePie, a quote for Jeremy.
Yeah, I responded to that super chat earlier. That's awesome, and I greatly appreciate that. A huge supporter. Reed Palantia, is that how you say it? I always said Palantia.
I say Palancha. I don't fucking know. He's Australian, so he probably says it wrong anyway. Yeah, but shout out, Reed.
Yeah, huge supporter. A long time. I mean, like back in the day when this channel had like 20, 30,000 subs, Reed was here.
Chris Forsyth for 10 again says, please consider checking out Cucumber, the animated series on Kickstarter. Guys, go check it out. Cucumber, the animated series. Depending on how the cucumber is used, you may have more people interested in that. So there you go. Christian Moore for $6. BLM baseball is too woke to watch now. Just like the NBA, NHL, and NFL, now they moved the All-Star game out of Atlanta. No more sports games for me. I think a lot of people kind of feel that way.
Yeah, it's bad, and it's only going to get worse the next few years. Everything is going to be politicized. Everything. I mean, everything already is, but they're going to take things to the next level. Just get prepared. Get prepared.
Yep. Paulie D for €5.49. Do you think the free DLCs will repair Cyberpunk's image? They can.
No. I think fixing the gameplay systems is what'll do it. Free DLCs will be nice, unless they were gonna take what were gonna be paid expansions and release them for free. That might do something. Like if Witcher 3 launched in a bad state and then they made Blood and Wine free, that would have been like a stupid amount of content to just be like, oh, now this is in the game also. Basically an entire new campaign. But
yeah. Because like right now, to be honest, a lot of what they've revealed for free DLCs or what was leaked looks like shit that was like supposed to be in the game and then they cut. So it's like a bunch of expansions for like barbershop. So now you can go and change your hair, which probably you would think that is something that would have been in the game already. Ripper Docs expansions, like all these things that you'd think would have been there but weren't. So
that stuff is the kind of things they added to Witcher 3 afterwards, though. So I mean, like things like new, Witcher armors and things like that, like customization for like your dress. Like the free DLCs tend to be stuff like that, or small quests, things like I forget what the gigs in Cyberpunk. Probably they'll add more gigs and things like that. But I wouldn't expect the free DLC to be anything super substantial unless they're going to do something like, as a mea culpa for the state of the launch, take an expansion that would have been paid and just release it for free. To be like, here you go.
Yep. Bweezy Bird for 5. Unfortunate MLB The Show game to Game Pass news comes out around the same time Atlanta lost its All-Star game spot. Yeah, not great timing for that fucking Major League Baseball. Stunning and Brave Salamence for $5. So not only is Sony shutting down the PS stores on PS3, PSP, and PS Vita, but their exclusives are going multi-platform. Sony is done fucked up. Well, that is really a good point to talk about that, Mark. Why don't you let everybody know about Sony, the old stores?
Those two things are not the same. One is a good thing, the other's a bad thing. So, well, let's get started with that. Like, MLB The Show coming out on Xbox and PC is not a bad thing. That just means that more people that want to play a baseball game will be able to play a good baseball game without having to buy a $400 entry ticket. As far as shutting down the PlayStation Portable, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation Vita stores, I think that absolutely sucks. I think it's terrible for them to be doing that without a viable backwards compatibility option in place for PS5. I don't care what, like, people are like, oh, but the cell processor in the PS3 was so complicated that they can't possibly emulate it on PS5. It's like, well, I mean, I'm not a computer engineer. They have computer engineers, though. They should figure out a way to do that, or make it so that there's some kind of hardware you can buy, like legacy PS3 hardware, that is not discontinued. Because right now, like I said, if you want to play God of War Chains of Olympus, or Ascension, I guess would be the earliest in the timeline, through to God of War 2, you need a PlayStation 3. You need a PlayStation 3. Some of them you can play on Vita, but the vast majority of them, unless you're talking about going back and getting the old PS2 discs, which is even harder to come by, you need a PS3, and pretty soon you'll need a physical copy of the game. At least in Canada, it seems like you do already, because I was having trouble finding my copy of God of War Ascension, and I was just going to buy it on the PlayStation Store and couldn't. So they already lost like money from me where I was going to buy a game that I did already have. Luckily, I found it. But I think that Sony's preservation initiatives are terrible. They need to get better at creating emulation for their new hardware, because it's silly that if you have a huge library of PlayStation 3 games 2 generations ago, you can't play them on your PS5. It's even sillier that you can't play the PlayStation 1 classics that you could play on PS3, PSP, or Vita on a PS5. Like that's insane, because what do you mean you can't run a PlayStation 1 emulator on this like 4K ray tracing enabled system? Like, get out of here. You can't run Metal Gear Solid. Like,
yeah, it is weird, and especially with Xbox Series X being able to basically run fucking anything seemingly. Yet it's shitty. Like, to be honest, it doesn't really affect me. Like, I don't have time in my life to fucking go back and play a lot of these games, just being honest. So it's not like a big deal to me, but I get where a lot of people, like, it's seemingly unnecessary. That's what it feels like, unnecessary.
I mean, I agree. Oh, go ahead,
so for me, I was saying that you've got to, like, again, it doesn't really make a big difference to me either, especially because you can still download games that you've already bought, and I've got a pretty large library on PS3. But you got to think of the person who is 5 years old right now, but in 10 years they're going to be 15, and they might play God of War Ragnarok 2 or whatever it ends up being, and then be like, man, this God of War game's pretty good. Like, I should go back and like play this whole series. It's like next to impossible for that person to do it without like streaming it through PlayStation Now, which sucks. So it's like, I mean, it really, like, it's shitty for those people, because like not everyone who's going to be a fan of video games next year is a fan of video games right now, or in 5 years, or in 10. And like, it's those people that I think these stores shutting down is the worst for, because their only choice is going to be buy things for stupidly inflated prices on eBay, which also doesn't make PlayStation any money, right? Like,
right. Extra Girl's playing Valheim right now.
I know. I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the argument to want to have these more streamlined so people can play them easier, yada, yada, yada. Personally, I'd buy physical media, and I think that there's just something special about going through these extra measures to find something that you wanted to play from a long time ago. The easier things become to have access to, the less special they become. Again, this is me personally speaking. Like
Super Mario 3D All Stars, right?
So, well, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not
Nintendo
even
just made it more special, everybody.
So, well, I mean, but again, you can't not play those games. I'm speaking from a personal standpoint. Like, the internet has made things so easy right now. Like, I'm a collector of 3 3/4 G.I. Joe figures. I can go buy any G.I. Joe figure I want right now on Amazon or eBay. I don't do that typically. I like to go to stores and find them, because there's something special about the hunt. It's really, I don't like the ease of buying anything and playing anything you want. I like the challenge of, the special way of walking into a store, and it's like, holy shit, there's Snake Eyes, there's Storm Shadow, there's Sergeant Slaughter. There's just something special about that, and just the ease of the internet takes that special aspect away from it. That's just my personal opinion on it. So if you want something bad enough, you can play it, you can find it if you want it.
But
work for
the
it.
question is but do you want I think it's the difference though between being a person who wants to play a video game and a person who wants to collect an original edition of that video game. Because Jeremy, are you playing with those G.I. Joe toys that you find?
I mean, I sometimes, but I'm saying
no,
I have a whole entire wall over here.
Well, what I mean though is if someone said, "Hey, I'll lend you my Snake Eyes for a week," would that be good news to you, or would you be like, "What's that? Why would I care?" Exactly.
No, yeah.
No, but my point is though, it's because you're not buying it because you want to enjoy the product. You're buying it because you're collecting them, and the collecting is what you're getting that thrill of, to be like, oh my god, I'm in this KB Toys, and there's like a Snake Eyes that must have been behind this Ninja Turtle for 50 years, and that is, you're right, it is exciting, but I think it's a different hobby. I think that video games and preservation of them, I think, should be looked at similarly to preservation of things like films. And I think it's also stupid when it's impossible to, I don't know, see what was one of the things that they were talking about banning, Gone with the Wind, was that one? I think that if we ever had a point that you need to find a physical DVD of Gone with the Wind, 30 years after DVDs have become the format that people are using, that sucks. And I would say it's the same for video games. And I think that the market responds to that with emulation and piracy, which I think always should be an option. I don't really advocate it unless it is the only option. But I don't think that I don't think Sony should be putting people in a position where their official line is, well, if you really want to play it so bad, either buy it on eBay or pirate it. Both of those options are but neither of those, both of those give you the same amount of money, which is zero. So why not just make these games available for us to buy from you? And if they can't possibly do it on PS3, I think that they should, at the very least, they should have been announcing this with something like, here's a PlayStation 3 classic that's coming out, and it's got, I don't know, all the big hit PS3 games on it or something. At least then it would be okay, well, at least they're trying to sell that. I don't agree with that being a good solution, but at least they're doing something. But now it's getting to the point that, like I said, if you want to play God of War, 1, 2, Chains of Olympus, and Ghost of Sparta on PS3, all of those you have to now acquire, or will in the summer.
You already need them,
yeah. Again, I don't disagree with your point about. I understand your point, and I see where you're coming from. I'm just saying, for me personally, the easier things get to play and to find, the less special they become, and I don't like that element. And the more we move into physical media, the more that you're reliant upon this company saying, "Hey, this is offensive. We're no longer going to make it available," and you become reliant upon that stuff, and that is a dangerous precedent to set. So if God of War one day is going to be too offensive, it just
sure is. But this is a different thing though, because they're not selling it anymore because it's offensive. They're just not selling any of the games on those platforms digitally at all anymore. So you cannot buy them. You could have $1 million and be like, I want this digital copy of Metal Gear Solid 4 because my PS3 Blu-ray keeps getting scratched and I keep on having to buy it off eBay. So giving you $1,000 for this would be cheaper than me having to get paid $200 on eBay every 6 months. And Sony would be like, well, too bad. You can't. And I was like, well, I don't know. I think that Xbox is at least trying, the compatibility for original Xbox, I almost said Xbox One, for original Xbox and Xbox 360 games on Xbox One and Series isn't perfect. There are a lot of games that you still can't play. A lot of discs especially that don't work because they at least have to download a patch to make them playable. But they're trying, and they seem to be making an effort to open up their back catalog to new players as much as possible. Whereas Sony, I think Jim Ryan, I think specifically had a quote that's people don't play older games. So especially with Gran Turismo, because they were saying hey, I would really like to be able to play Gran Turismo 2 on my PS4. Would there be a way that I could do that? And his comment was, why would you play that game when we have GT Sport? And it's well, you don't get it. man. Like,
Yeah.
some people might have just like.
Well,
yeah.
and we talked about it, and I brought this up too. But yeah, with the Super Mario 3D All Stars, obviously that's gone away. That was something that was announced would be a limited time only to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Mario. Yada yada yada. And I said at the time, like, I think that if Nintendo doesn't have another plan, like to release these games individually, which I think makes the most sense, then I would be very critical of that. And at this point in time, and I didn't expect them to announce that they would be releasing these games individually during the run, because that would only take away from the run. But now we've got the game where it's no longer available physically or digitally, and there's been no announcement of, at least at this point, that they're going to release these games individually on the Switch, which I think is a big problem. I still have no problem with the limited release, but if they're not going to then release these games individually on the Switch after the fact, then they deserve to be criticized for that. So we'll see what they do.
$200. Somebody buy it.
Shit, 10,000 is what people are asking for. Again,
what?
On eBay. eBay listings are insane.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. eBay listings are insane. But yeah,
like,
so
anyone buying a physical copy on eBay for $10,000 right now is stupid, because I mean it's probably still at a bunch of Best Buys and Walmarts right now for its list price. Just because they're not shipping any more copies doesn't mean it's impossible to find. But I mean, again, I have a lot of issues with Nintendo. I actually specifically did not buy Mario 3D All Stars, even though I wanted to play Galaxy, because I was like, nah, fuck that, I'm not supporting that practice. Which, I mean, again, my choice. So next time Jeremy tells me Galaxy's the best game ever, I'm just gonna have to take his word for it.
So
because you had the chance to prove it to me, Nintendo, but you had to wrap it up in shitty practices. So
there's one it's $22,300.
Yeah, no one's selling it. Is there any sold through prices?
Hold on. Let me fucking.
Right now, if you're paying anything other than list, like you're stupid. You're probably just a dumb person if you're gonna pay $5,000 for a game that it like just got discontinued 2 days ago.
Look at this person lost money, dumb bitch.
That's probably. I'm guessing that's a used copy. So like that person's been playing it for the last few months and was like, I'm just gonna get rid of this. Though I think like there's
none of them are actively sold. Yeah, none of them are actively sold for this. These fucking prices.
I don't think no one's gonna. I don't think anyone's gonna get anything substantial for that for at least another couple years. Like once the people that just bought it to sell it have sold their copies for $50 less than they paid for, and like the actual market appears, that's when you'll see the real prices. And again, I mean, like when it comes to, I'll preface this, I have zero problem with a company doing a limited physical run of a game. I just think if you have a digital store, like what are you discontinuing things off there for? Because it's just doing the Disney Vault strategy, and I always hated that too. And granted, that was back in the day when it was like a physical thing. I remember wanting to see Sleeping Beauty forever because I saw it on TV when I was a kid. And I thought Prince Philip was like such a badass with like fighting a dragon and shit at the end. And I remember wanting to watch that. And my mom's just like, I'm sorry, we can't get it. I'm like, why not? They're like, they don't sell it. I'm like, what? I've seen it on TV. Isn't it a movie that came out like 20 years ago? She's like, no, it's in the Disney Vault. And I'm just like, fucking Vault? What do you mean?
Like, it's the fucking McRib. It's the McRib strategy, right? That's what it's about. It's about creating this artificial hype over something because you limit the time. And it's a technique that works. There's a reason that fucking the only time Americans give a fuck about soccer is when the World Cup comes around. It is artificially created excitement. If the World Cup happened every 6 months, no one would give a fuck ever. But instead, you try to pretend, you buy a stupid ass scarf, pretend like you're a fucking European for a week. Imagine being that bitch face, pretend you're fucking European. But like that is what Americans do every 4 years when the World Cup comes around, because they pretend like they feel like they need, like they'll miss out on it. It's not out for another 40 years. And that's the same marketing strategy that's involved with that. Let me keep on with these. Nick Nero for $5. Apparently, and to all the Europeans in chat, no apology. Nick Nero for $5. Apparently, I'm worse than Gary at Witcher 3. I haven't even played yet. It's still in the box. Well, you're probably still better than Gary, to be honest with you.
Gary still hasn't hit me up for the Witcher 3 lessons, though. I did tell him I'd walk him through some things.
Jesus Davila, well, that's probably Jesus. Jesus, it's almost Easter, sorry. Jesus Davila for $10. I don't know why they haven't added Undead Nightmare in Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm sure people would like to see it, but Rockstar not sure what they are doing. Like I love Red Dead Redemption 2. I would get all the Red Dead Redemption content that I could possibly consume.
I think that especially though with Red Dead Redemption 2, they took things in a more serious, dramatic direction. So I didn't think they would do a sequel to Undead Nightmare. For those who aren't aware, Undead Nightmare was the expansion for Red Dead Redemption 1, where it's basically like a zombie Western expansion that is obviously non-canon. Like it doesn't make sense within the story of the rest of the game, but it's just the same map and you're fighting zombies.
Joe,
real quick, there's not going to be a Park Hoppin' stream today. Drunk 3PO has been very busy, but he's got a lot of content he'll be releasing for Park Hoppin', but no Park Hoppin' stream today.
Joe Reeves for €5. This is completely off topic, and I profusely apologize for this, but I thought Mark the Cyborg was Mike Zero when I first saw him. I'm sorry.
I'm not. I'm the opposite of Mike Zero. But Mike Zero will make a video with the most flimsy information ever. I won't make it until like 7 games have been released in the series.
Yep.
Not exactly. That's just the one I did most recently. I like having solid information is my point.
Mike Hill for $5. Are you planning to check out the trailer for Space Jam 2? I watched it. It was dumb as fuck. Fuck LeBron James.
We need to do a reaction for that for Sports Wars.
Didn't the trailer come out like? Didn't that come out like a month ago? Like,
no, we still got our first like real like pictures and stuff. That's where we saw the
okay. I only know about Space Jam 2 from like the Lola Bunny controversy. That's pretty much it.
They literally have
hearing about it.
They literally have like Lola Bunny doing like the Dwayne Wade fucking thing when he threw the alley-oop to LeBron. It's so cringe.
It's so bad.
Mikey Gusler for $5. Is it true Sony's closing the PlayStation Store for PS3 and Vita because they will release all the PS1, PS2, PS3 games on the PS5 game store?
I'm willing to bet there's no chance that is what's happening because they would definitely come out and announce that if that was the case. Like this is really looking bad on them from a PR standpoint for anyone who cares about preservation at all. And they're not saying anything. Like Sony hasn't come out and made a single statement about it, which means it's probably as bad or worse than it sounds like it's going to be. There's been some rumors saying that like if your internal battery in your PS4 dies, then your PS4 is going to become unusable, and they're not responding to any of it. So who knows? I think though Sony needs to get their shit together when it comes to backwards compatibility. Because honestly, the backwards compatibility support for PS4 games on PS5 is incredible. Like God of War, like the Data Boy footage, if you'll notice that if you watch my video in 4K, it's like a 4K 60 FPS game at the whole back 10 minutes of the video where I'm talking about Data Boy. And Ghost of Tsushima is like a totally different game because it has like a silky smooth frame rate where your parries and the standoffs are a lot easier to actually succeed at because you can see everything that's happening. And I don't know, they need to just start doing that for consoles prior to PS4.
Jack Scarata for $5. Howdy guys. Lego Skywalker Saga was delayed. Yes, I'm also playing Insane Trilogy. Loving it. We still want Karana to crush me with her ripped thighs. There you go. That seems to be a popular opinion, Jack. Black and White News for $10. What's up, John? Revenge of the Sith novel came out before the movie, and I read it. Amazing read. Oh, the good days when Star Wars was Star Wars. I miss George a lot. I think everybody does. John, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Michael Rucka for €5. Mark, make that dog hate on The Last Jedi, and the radicalization will be complete.
Oh, Jojo already hates The Last Jedi. Don't you, sweetie?
She barks at Ryan Johnson.
Every time Ryan Johnson is like on screen in an interview, she's just like
Mr. J for $10. Hashtag restore the Rocky Knob Outpost verse.
Holy shit, you are behind. All right, we gotta get through these.
I know.
Stop making 10-minute answers every time Mark answers is 10 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I getting in trouble for talking about video games on this video game podcast?
Yeah, only talking too long. Socialism is for figs for $20. Hey guys, thought I would ask this, but Salty, if you know him, needs help with a great website that can host videos and streams. Can you guys maybe reach out to him? Help. He's suspended from YouTube now, so he is trying.
if Salty's looking for help, I mean, my developers, my developers on the website, we actually discussed some streaming potential, a project. It's going to cost money, obviously, for my guys to put something together. But if Salty wanted to talk, I would love to talk with him. I'll give him my phone number. He could call me. Tell him to email me if anybody has contact with Salty. Just tell him to email me at jeremy@geeksandgamers.com. I'd love to set up something. I love Salty. So.
Yep. Yeah, and we saw all the stuff he went through. He like privated or deleted all of his shit from YouTube to try to avoid them coming after him. So it's tough, man.
Yep.
Wheezy Bird for $5. Always got your back. Ryan, speaking on Sports Wars, hopefully y'all talk about Paul Pierce potentially being fired for inviting strippers to his house.
Yeah, I saw a video going around.
That?
I'm not sure, but I saw something going around. I didn't watch the details of it when I woke up this morning, so we'll have to look into that for Sports Wars.
The fuck? Oh god, shit's crazy. Keaton Smith for £2. Halo, can you get Nerdrotic playing God of War?
Oh my god, that would be beautiful. That's the game he needs to play. It's a
like
little more straightforward. Well, yeah, like he could start with God of War 1 remastered, God of War 2 remastered, work his way up to 3. Like, and it's more straightforward. You know, it's more straightforward than something like The Witcher. He would be able to understand the concept of button mashing a lot more than The Witcher.
Shaky Shako for $10. Hey Ryan, fuck you, Jeremy, and a hello Canadian robot. I love you guys. I recently played Titanfall 2. I miss BT. What's BT?
BT's the Titan.
Have you not?
In the
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, got it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for Biomutant and Returnal. I hope everyone is having a lovely day. Yeah, that fucking robot. He's cool.
I don't understand the appeal for Biomutant. I see a lot of people saying that game looks good to me. I'm like, I don't know. But Returnal, I'm really excited for. I like Housemarque a lot. They're a great studio.
Yeah. And thank you for the super chat, Shaky. Lancer 377 or fucking 737 for $5. If they made a game with Doomslayer teaming up with Master Chief to fight the Empire of Man in 40K, would you get the game in PvP like PlanetSide 2?
I think I absolutely would. Yes.
Yeah.
Moist Breadcrumb became a channel member. Thank you, Moist Breadcrumb. Appreciate that. Chris Forsyth for another $20. Apologies. Here's the Cucumber animated series log line. Cucumber follows a team of geeks and misfits who take a break from selling Q phones and Q pads to save the world from the Q-pocalypse. Well, there you go. Thank you, Chris Forsyth. Everybody check out Cucumber animated series.
Yeah, thanks. You didn't have to send another super chat to give details, but we did. When we heard that, it's like it opens up a lot of possibilities. We don't know exactly what that can mean, but thank you for the context. We do appreciate it. Everybody go check it out.
Reed Palancha for Australian, $20. Lately, I have gone to have some fun with anime-style games for something different. They also give me something to do to achieve in a low amount of time investment. Time is tough. Good listening to you, fellas. Thank you, Reed. Appreciate that. I know Mark likes weeb games as well.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of weeb games, or weebs in general, I'm going to watch Akira tonight.
Nice.
So I've heard a lot. So what do you mean? What format?
Did you get the 4K Blu-ray?
No, it's on Funimation. I think it's on Funimation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Still pretty good.
You're about to have some people in chat, Jeremy.
Oh, I know. Speaking of that, we have an anime-specific show on geeksandgamers.com Premium. Mark the Cyborg will be appearing on that very soon, along with X-Ray Girl. There's already a video with Krista Nova and Ivan, and I'll be on there as well very soon. So premium membership picking up. We're trying to give you guys a lot of content. We'll also be doing a highlight reel of some of these videos uploaded to the main channel as well.
Mike Hill for $5. Are you planning to play Republic Commando? Probably am when it releases. Yeah, it's been a while. I really liked it when it came out.
Mark's video for Republic Commando is on point. You guys need to check that out.
That is the first video I ever made for Geeks and Gamers, and we released a re-render of it.
Released the cyborg cut.
Yeah,
we released the cyborg cut.
It's actually properly rendered in 60 frames a second.
We got another $50 from Clemson PC. Oh, wow. Mark, I absolutely love the God of War video. Great job on that, man.
Thank you.
In case I missed it, do you guys have a specific game you're looking forward to most this year? As always, much love to the G&G family. we did talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
Like really the only things I'm like looking forward to, I think that the past years taught us not to look forward to anything. If Cyberpunk and Last of Us 2 have taught us anything, don't look forward to things anymore. But for me, like Horizon Forbidden West and the next God of War game are probably the only things I can't even say I'm pretty hyped for Horizon. Everything else, just kind of, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, for me, I mean, if we're talking something that's scheduled for this year, it's probably the Kenna game, Bridge of Spirits, that we saw several months ago during that kind of highlight reel. That looks really good. I think it's it looks cool. That looks really cool, but there's not a lot that's like officially announced for this year that's really on my radar at this point in time. Outside of, I know we got Halo Infinite, which I'm glad they delayed that game, and I love Nintendo.
Yeah, I think Back 4 Blood's probably the one I'm most looking forward to, that I think is going to be a relatively safe bet for it being awesome. And again, more really like I'm looking forward to playing Returnal that I was just talking about, but mostly because I like the developer.
There you go. So that's what we're looking forward to. Where did I?
Yeah,
go?
I wish there was more games that like were announced for this year, but there's just not a lot that's been officially announced at this point.
Remember the Far Cry game is probably like we haven't heard shit about that for a while, and
I haven't seen any gameplay of it.
Yeah, that was supposed to come out like in March or February or something. Like we haven't seen anything from that, and I do like the Far Cry games are like that's almost like kind of a. I guess guilty pleasure maybe. Like I like the Far Cry games. I like because you know what you're getting.
They're very easy to get into, or at least past Far Cry 3, because that kind of became a different series once Far Cry 3 came out. Far Cry 2 is a very punishing game.
Yeah, like Far Cry 5. I played a lot of it, so I wouldn't even say I'm looking forward to it. I am probably going to play it, but I guess we'll see. Where was I? Glinzer, $5. If older games are released digitally, do you think it might be subject to some form of alteration/censoring? I think that's always something you have to worry about.
Yeah, it's why again I've talked about this a bunch of times on the podcast, but DRM free digital is the best possible solution, like even more so than physical copies of games, because a DRM-free copy of a game has no digital rights management. You can just download it and then copy it to whatever media you want. So you can make your own physical copies if you want. And probably the reason I defend CD Projekt as much as I do is that they're the ones who run a DRM-free store. So even if every game they ever release and is broken and they go back and make Witcher 3 broken, I could still be comfortable supporting them as a company, not buying their own games, but buying other people's games on their store, because they're games that I actually own. And I don't know, I think that's worthwhile.
As is Last Brain Cell for Canadian $5. You have to factor in the cost of recalling physical games, then the cost of reshipping them when fixed, also the percent of profit kept by the stores. Yeah, very true. As is Last Brain Cell.
Love Az's Last Brain Cell. It's a great account.
Yeah.
I like the picture. Dirty Nitpicker for $10. I love seeing LeBron preaching while having a $1 billion contract with Nike off the back of slavery and not talking about Hong Kong. P.S. I love video games too, but you said my trigger word. Lol. LeBron. I think LeBron's the trigger word.
Fuck LeBron James. Fuck that motherfucker.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you feel the same way, you should subscribe to Sports Wars, because we say that a lot on Sports Wars. The crying LeBron has become the screaming SJW for that channel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the best thumbnail ever.
MJ1 Media for $2. Forget Lego Star Wars. Where's Lego Middle Earth? All 6 films. I think that's something we had earlier as well from Mikey. That was his advice.
Mm-hmm.
As is Last Brain Cell for another $5. Due to COVID regulations, they would have to sanitize each copy, then store physical copies for maybe a year. Sony would lose too much money.
I'm not saying that recalling the physical copies is something they should have done, but I think that it's much more likely that the reason they didn't recall physical copies is because it's not their problem if people request a refund at Best Buy.
Yeah,
I think the delisting Cyberpunk was mostly, like 99%, about Sony not wanting to address their refund policy.
If it hadn't been, if CD Projekt Red hadn't been, hey, take it up with Sony if you want a refund, then yeah, that probably wouldn't have pulled it because they would have just been, people would have just been fucked. Where was I? Chris Arcella for 5. Nice. Akira movie has great animation, but if you want full story, the manga is best bet. I'm still hoping you check out Gunsmith Cats.
Yeah, the story.
Gunsmith Cat sounds good.
The story in the Akira movie is not conclusive at all. It tells, I think, a pretty decent story, but it's mostly a visual feast. There's a lot of sequences in it where they do 1:1 animation, so like 24 frames of unique frames of animation for certain segments. It's not the whole movie. Some people think it is, but it's not. So you'll notice some sequences with incredibly smooth animation.
Well, I mean, I have heard of Akira for a long time. As a matter of fact, several years ago, it was rumored that Christopher Nolan was going to be involved in a live action, and that's when it got on my radar. Based on what I've seen, I don't see how that would work at all. That's when it became part of.
I don't think live action. By the time you get to the end of this movie, you're gonna watch. You're gonna be like, yeah, this isn't working in live action ever.
Yeah.
When it happens, you'll know. Trust me.
Lancer 737 for $5. Jeremy, I don't like anime, but there's a few I like so much they're my favorite series. I highly recommend Robotech, Macross. They are not the same, and Guyver.
Okay. Robotech is the American translation of Macross, the Macross saga. I used to watch those. I thought they were pretty good. They're pretty dated now, but neat. They're like F-14 fighter jets that turn into robots in space.
There you go. Yeah. Cool. Thank you for the suggestions, Lancer.
Yeah, and I'm always checking out. So we have the anime section in our Discord, the Geeks Gamers Discord, which is in the link in the description. And then we also have the anime section on geeksgamers.com, which is fucking insanely busy. And I'm always looking at that for suggestions and things like that. Because again, we're taking this anime thing seriously, like we are, and it's going to start out as a premium thing, and then we will eventually move that over to the main channel, get articles written and things like that. It's a huge opportunity. There's a lot of interest. People in our community are very interested in us covering it more, so we're going to do the best we can. We have a lot of people on the team that know a lot about it, and I'll do my best to continue to learning, and Ryan will not be one of them.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. Something at Geeks and Gamers without any involvement from me is the best possible news. So.
That's why he loves Park Hoppin'. Park Hoppin' is his favorite channel, actually, just because he has nothing to do.
Worry about it. Bruno Champagne for Canadian $5. Hi guys, great channel. Jeremy, I recently got into the Switch debating between Mario Odyssey or Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury. Thoughts? Take care, guys. Just depends what you're looking for.
I personally think Odyssey is the better game, but I loved 3D World. 3D World.
Remember when we bought it to play that one time?
Yeah, I mean 3D World. I very much enjoyed it on the Wii U. I played it, I beat it, and then they improved the game a little bit. They sped up the character movements for the Switch version. I haven't played through Bowser's Fury yet, but I just think Odyssey's a better game. Odyssey's fantastic. It's not Galaxy, but I think Odyssey's the better game.
There you go. All right, we are all caught up in super chats almost. Mark, what have you been playing this week?
Speaking of Switch, I actually probably put about 20 hours into Breath of the Wild this week. Playing it on a Wii U emulator in 4K at 60 frames a second. It's actually really good.
He's been spamming me screenshots. He's doing everything he can to make me play this game.
It's significantly better than the Switch version. I probably have about like 125 hours or something like that in the Switch version because I'm going by an hour per. I did all the shrines on Switch. The only thing that kind of sucks playing on the emulator is if you have a puzzle with gyroscope features, like where you have to like move a platform with the motion controls to like get a ball to roll down a path. That kind of sucks because you just sort of have to do it by right clicking with the mouse. But I've really enjoyed it, and I actually picked up on sale Immortals Phoenix Rising because I was thinking, maybe I could do something with
I've heard it's
talking
good.
about these videos. It's all right. I think the combat is better than Breath of the Wild. I don't really like the tone of and the storytelling. It's kind of annoying. It seems like it was written by people who thought they were writing a really, really funny game, but none of it has made me even chuckle. It's just very kind of lighthearted Greek mythology. It's just like, oh, well, now the hero went like it's like constantly narrating you, and I'm just like, oh god. As much as I sometimes give Nintendo shit for like not giving Link a voice, I kind of wish my character would shut up in this game. And because like I mean fundamentally it plays very similarly to Breath of the Wild, but I don't know, I've really kind of turned around because I think it also I was able to change the thing that I disliked about Breath of the Wild the most. I could just turn off weapon degradation, so I don't have to worry about my weapons breaking on me constantly, and that also improves the game quite a bit as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting, like, they just broke so quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was really, like, you really had, and it was an interesting feature because you really had to make the decision. Do you want, like, you're going to have to struggle a little more through these encounters that you would normally blow through to preserve your good weapons for when you actually needed them. So it was kind of an interesting mechanic that drove me fucking insane, but it definitely made more strategy.
You can do things like make them degrade more slowly. I'm essentially playing it, well, effectively you could call that a cheat. I'm playing it with a few of the cheats on because I want to try to catch up to where I was in the Wii version and not have to spend a bunch of time grinding more powerful weapons and then hanging on to them. So this is just preventing me from having to be like, okay, I'm going to come back to this dungeon later when I can find another decent sword.
Highlight Collector's Digest comment.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, my woman does not have blonde hair. Only my puppy does. And second of all, she's in a bed.
Imagine Mark just being that calm. Just while he's just getting blown.
Well, X-Ray Girl, now you've heard what the people want.
God damn, that was good.
Extra girl laughing in the background. It made it even better. That was fantastic. Oh man, that was good.
Jeremy, what have you been playing?
Titanfall 2 is what I have been playing, and that's all I've been playing. It's again, I will never stop talking about the greatness of Titanfall 2. Probably going to play it again this week. And again, we want to try to start streaming some for Gaming with Geeks as well, our gaming channel that we very rarely upload to right now. Again, we just have so many moving parts, but I'll hopefully be doing that again very soon. I had a great time streaming that for our premium members. We had a lot of fun. Lethal actually told me, he said, dude, I want to do that more. That was a lot of fun. It was. We had a great time. And if we can just get some consistency with the team on there, I think we could have a lot of fun. Great game, though. Is Titanfall 2 a subscription-based game? No, not at all. No.
Jury nitpicker for $5. Jeremy, like you, I've never been a fan of anime till Attack on Titan. My only nitpick is everyone is bipolar. One word, Xanax.
Yeah, I mean, Attack on Titan is kind of it's become like the quintessential normie anime, I think, is kind of what a lot of people are saying. And I watched one episode and I was like, holy fuck. And I'd heard about it for years. People have been telling me to watch Attack on Titan for years. And finally Krista Nova convinced me to start watching it. And I watched it and I'm like, holy shit, this is incredible. And it's just opened me up to this entirely new world. And thank you for all the suggestions. I actually love how much the chat goes crazy when we bring anime up, because what it tells us is that you guys want to see more anime. And I've talked to Ivan about potentially setting up a live stream with the people on the team that are into anime, potentially maybe once a month or something like that. We'll start out and then we'll kind of see. I mean, Mark, you guys, when do you guys do your Attack on Titan show? I mean, I know that it's over,
Mondays.
right? This first part of the season?
Finished it. Mondays at 7 p.m. We're taking this week off, and then at least Lethal Lightning, myself, and a guest star that we've had a few times named KJ are doing a discussion podcast on a show called Fate Zero now. And KJ is basically making up a watch list for each episode. So episode 1, I think we're going to talk about the first 2 episodes of the series, and then might be like episode 2, we're going to talk about episodes 3 through 7 or something like that. But
okay,
that's
Liquid
what
Nitrogen. That's actually a good one, and maybe I could get Ivan to host it on Wednesdays, and we just call it Weeb Wednesdays. That's actually a really good idea, because having that day to kind of symbolize what stream it is, Friday Night Tights, it's actually worked out very good for Friday Night Tights, clearly. And we'll talk about it. There's a lot of cool opportunities, but it has opened me up to a completely different world. And when I'm watching Hollywood and all their bullshit, and when I see something like Attack on Titan, which has diverse characters, and it has all of this shit, but none of it is based around narratives or identity politics, and it's all meant to complement the story. And now I'm just all these suggestions I'm getting. It's pretty cool. It is.
There you go. The Hobbyist for $5. Is anyone else able to log into Outriders? I know they had some server problems this morning. I think they're in the process of fixing them, or they should be fixed very quickly. The Hijabi Gamer for $5. Forget Breath of the Wild, Mark. Play Destiny 2 with me. We need to get a raid team up and running. Our weapons don't break in Destiny 2.
Yeah, Mark the Cyborg on Steam if you want to add me.
There you go. Joel Reese for €2. Have you heard about Death Note? Awesome story.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about Death Note.
Death Note, I think, is one of the most stable like starter animes. Like for people that haven't seen anime before, it's 36 episodes and it's done, and it tells a really awesome story.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I already saw the live action. It's a masterpiece, so I can only imagine how
Never
good the anime
watched the live action Death Note. The only thing you need to watch from the live action Death Note is ER's 3-part series on it, because it's hilarious. But it's same as like you don't need to play Life is Strange, just watch ER's videos on it. It's the same thing with Death Note.
I've watched a little bit of Dragon Ball Kai, and then Krista showed me like still shots of the live action Dragon Ball movie. Holy
you pretty much do not ever need to watch American live action adaptations of an anime. The only one that was halfway decent was Alita, and that's pretty much it. Although honestly, the Scarlett Johansson Ghost in the Shell, not horrendously bad. That one's kind of worth watching, but you should watch the anime instead.
Ryan wants to die.
Gaming or What with $50. Thank you, Gaming or What. That is awesome. Appreciate that.
And thank you guys so much. Look, this whole Saturday podcast has really turned out to be something special. You guys are really supportive of us, and we do appreciate that so much. So thank you all. I might do a live stream later today, just an old school live stream on the channel. Might do that.
The Nah for $5. Watch some Gundam. I've been recommended that very often as well.
Yeah.
Jury Nitpicker for another $5. It's all anime. 1 minute they're happy and sweet. Next second they got veins popping out of their foreheads. Is that a Japanese thing? Chill. Yeah. That stays the same for me sometimes. But that is it. Did you get the
Streamlabs?
I got all of them. Let me check.
Okay, no, I haven't checked it, so I just didn't know if you'd read it already.
Yep,
so.
I got all of the Streamlabs. Vile MK for $5. Hey, G&G peeps, if you like suspense and thriller in anime with butterfly effect inspirations, watch Erased anime. Keep it up, my dudes. Speak the truth. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Vile MK.
I thought it was going to recommend Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher for a minute.
Yeah,
Which, hey, that's actually a good movie. That's actually a pretty damn good movie. I enjoy the hell out of that movie. But yes, thank you for the and yeah, watch Grave of the Fireflies. I've heard that's a
no. Maybe don't. Unless you want to cry.
Yeah, I've heard that's an incredibly sad movie, as is Last Brain Cell.
It's probably the saddest film ever.
Yeah, I've heard that's a really one. So, but again, thank you guys so much. It's been an awesome show, and we're gonna fade out here in just a minute.
Fade in.
Yeah, we are gonna fade out here. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the support. Mark, who subscribed to Mark the Cyborg, and.
We'll be live tomorrow on Sports Wars, myself and Ryan, with John Matrix, like we do every Sunday over on Sports Wars. We will have the Mario Kart 8 stream, I think. I mean, I know it's Easter, so I need to talk with Ryan and everybody. I know Chris has said she might be hit or miss with some family stuff. So
yeah, just because Jesus took this weekend off like 2,000 years ago doesn't mean we're going to. That's my perspective.
So yes, as long as Ryan's available, we'll be there. Thank you guys. We'll see you over on Discord. See you over on geeksgamers.com. and can't wait to play some more video games.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.